Ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, today we're going to discuss why the Unholy DK is the god of the R-rated battleground. So, with the changes to the 8.0 pre-patch, we now have the ability to stack multiple dot talents for our PvP talents. Combined with Ebb and Fever, Epidemic, and Unholy Frenzy, that makes for some pretty nasty AoE pressure being pumped out. So, the primary goal of playing Unholy at this point is, obviously, to 1. Dot everything you possibly can, find a healer, stick to him like glue, and use Asphyxiate to pressure him, pop your burst on him, and when you're not doing that, keep everything dotted, and press Epidemic as many times as you possibly can. So we're also using the Unholy Mutation talent, which is going to massively pump up them gains, because the buff that it got to 400% of normal eruption damage in an RPG is absolutely mind-boggling. So, if you have 8 targets currently dotted, and you have a priest match a spell all those dots off of them, they all explode, doing easily between 2,000 and 3,000 damage. All you gotta do, press one button, reapply your dots to as many people are standing next to your outbreak. Wandering Plague, also an extremely powerful talent for specifically focusing down one target, which will also jump around depending on dispels. And Crypt Fever, which, if you have a Resto Druid healing, Shaman, it really doesn't matter. Resto Druid is definitely the worst offender for this, though. But as long as they're getting healed, they're taking extra damage. So, starting off on talents, we're going to take Clawing Shadows, because it is fully a magic damage spell. It allows you to attack from range, and it has this fantastic ability to where, if you're standing in your Death and Decay, way over in the corner here, you can sit here and clap a target from range, and hit 3 targets. Hitting everything from over here, just because I'm standing in my Death and Decay. Doesn't matter where I'm at, as long as I'm standing in Death and Decay, I'm going to cleave shit from 30 yards. It's fantastic. Next up, Ebb and Fever, kind of the brain dead go-to. Makes everything hit harder and quicker, which, because it ticks quicker, Unholy Mutation will also proc quicker. And it procs hard. Asphyxiate, go-to. Pretty much want to use it on cooldown on a healer, keep that pressure up. 60 row. Out of all the testing I've done, Soul Reaper, without question, is the best talent. An on-demand 2-rune, big-ass dot is fantastic in an RPG. You'll usually find yourself using this to set up while popping APOC. The 75 row is kind of your own pick. I'm a huge fan of Spell Eater when it comes to RPGs. Having a 10-second AMS is great because they can't apply any dots to you, they can't stun you, or they can't slow you, they can't fear you. All they can do is just put damage into you, and you have a lot of uptime while Spell Eater is active. And the 90 row, Epidemic is by far the best talent. Defile and Pestilence go off of your Death and Decay, which in an RPG is going to do you absolutely nothing. Nobody's going to just stand there in your Death and Decay. Epidemic, however, only requires 2 targets being dotted to have the exact same damage output value as your Death Coil, but it also costs 10 runing powers less. So if you have, let's say, 6 targets dotted and you hit Epidemic, that's going to hit everything for 3,000 damage, and then 200 extra everything around it. So in that little group right there, right here, it hit them for 600, over here it hit for 600, and then 3,000 to everything in one button press. Yeah, almost 4,000 damage by spending 30 runing power, and that's only 6 targets. Your final tier in the 100 row, Unholy Frenzy, is by far your best talent when it comes to RPGs. You line this up with APOC, and you're just going to be pumping mad damage out into a single target and AoE, because you get 20% haste, meaning all of your dots tick quicker. So your basic rotation as Unholy is largely unchanged from Legion. Maintain between 3 and 6 wounds, and then break them. The big difference you'll be seeing in what your damage will be doing from Legion to the current BFA setup is when using Unholy Mutation, you want them to run out their dot. If you refresh it before it pops, you lose a massive chunk of damage. So, If you see a big group of people that are about to pop, let it run off, then refresh. If you see people that aren't dotted and there's like one person that it's about to run off, whatever, go ahead and dot everything up. But you'll be seeing quite a bit of healers dispelling dots, which is why Unholy Mutation is insanely powerful in RPG. Mass Dispel, Monk Revival, just your dispels from general. It procs very often. Down here, I'll give you a quick little snippet of Silver Shards, where I ended up doing 6.74 million damage done. It was a long game. The Virulent Plague plus Virulent Eruption ended up doing a little over 2 million on its own. And that's from Ebon Fever, Crypt Fever, and Unholy Mutation. So, I'll give you a quick example of how to actually set up the damage on a pack. So let's say we got our healer right here in the middle, Mr. Target Dummy, and you got everything else. So the primary goal, once again, you're not a burst class, you are AoE pressure class. So maintain your dots more so than trying to tunnel a healer. Let's go ahead and get all of our dots up. We're setting up our APOC, we have 6 wounds. Pop that APOC, pop that Unholy Frenzy, power your Ghoul, get that Soul Reaper, go ahead and start spamming that Epidemic, start clapping at them. Over here you see the wounds about to dispel, that hit for 7,000 on those 3 targets. Over here we're going to reset, keep clapping, clap, clap, clap. Epidemic, Epidemic, hit, hit. Now let's actually watch for the actual burst damage of 3 targets being dispelled. Boom, right there. 6,000 damage on 3 targets. That's crazy damage for just being either dispelled or running its course real quick. So once again, the key factors to take away: keep everything dotted, allow your dots to run off if possible, but keep in mind they'll also be dispelled very frequently. So you just want to be dotting very frequently. And then to actually put your pressure into a healer, get that stun out, get that APOC, make sure you Unholy Frenzy after you APOC so everything gets empowered, and then your dots tick faster too. And then pop all your other cooldowns. Dark Trance, Soul Reaper on cooldown. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You will do some pretty nasty damage as long as you follow those rules. Alright, if you guys have questions, ask them in the comments. I have plenty of macros to throw around. I have plenty of weak auras to throw around. And yeah, just a quick background for myself. I'm a 2300 rated Frost DK, and I look forward to being able to play Unholy DK yet again, as it's by far my favorite spec in the game. So yeah, you guys have a fantastic day.